All right, guys, thank you for joining us for the Field Series launch. Real quick, we're going to play a quick video, and then we'll jump into this thing.
It's something really unique that I don't think any other product has. It's likely to be a game changer in the industry. Here's how you're going to save a life. They need this equipment to work. When you need it to work, that is the number one thing.
All right, guys, thanks for joining us. Real quick, anybody was, a show of hands of anybody that was in a room like this at FDIC last year with me? Awesome. So during that experience, we were doing something very similar. We were going through products that we were going to display at FDIC, releasing, and at the end of that, I had a concept, a new product. It was a 3D printed sample, and the purpose of that, showing that, was to get that voice of customer, because something that is very important to us at Wheelin is making sure that we are listening to our customers, and we're making sure that we're getting their feedback. I can think that something is cool all day, but if nobody else likes it, sees the value, understands it, then it doesn't make any sense. So we did that, and we got some feedback. And we got some good feedback. We also got some negative feedback. And honestly, we needed that negative feedback, and it was important because those were the things that helped us further develop this. So that was 12 months ago, and here we are, 12 months later, ready, proud, and excited to launch the Field Series Brow Light. So with that, I think the first question we should ask and answer is, why are we doing this? Why are we making a new brow light? If you're familiar with the Wheelin product offering, we have a Pioneer Summit brow light. So we should say, hey, why are you making another brow light? Again, at Wheelin, we like to innovate. We like to identify problems, identify areas that we can improve for the end user, for that first responder. Because our goal is not to just make widgets and consumable things. It's making life-saving, life-changing products that actually have an impact on the end user. So that is the number one goal. And in order to do that, we have to look inward at our product. We look at what's available in the market. What is the technology being used? How is it being used? And what is the impact of it? So if we look at ours, we think about the things that we've done over the past couple of years, about our easy scene lights and our workside light, and getting that light on the ground. And I think we've accomplished that. We've done a very good job at it. We've identified zones, how much light, how far the light needs to go, and create that visibility. Obviously, we feel good about that. Where I think we noticed an area for opportunity or for improvement is the forward-facing light. So what I'm talking about that is beyond the ground, looking forward. How do I see? How does it work? What are we doing today? And when you look at our product and some other products, they use a very typical standard optic design, and that is called a spot optic. And the way the spot optic works is you have a light source. Let's say this is the light source. Light's coming off this thing in all sorts of directions, and it's just untamed light going everywhere. You put an optic over it with a reflector and all these things to basically capture that light, redirect it, and put the light where it's needed. So a spot optic does just that, does it very well. What it does, if we look down the road here, our Wheelin Road, you'll see at the end there's a target. And the target there is a circle, it's a spot. So if we turn on a spot optic, it will light up that circle perfectly. It will create high visibility right there. Does a very good job at it. What it doesn't do is give us visibility to the left and to the right. We're limited there. We do have some light that goes out there, some light that comes off that downward facing, but it doesn't accurately provide visibility left and right. And that's where we wanted to improve. And with that, I'd like to shut the lights off, and we'll start showing what we got. So I'm going to start again back at that downward facing light. And so for this first demonstration, we're going to utilize a 7 light field series. And so 7 light being, there's 7 modules in there comprising to get us to that length that we're going to call 7 light module. So when I turn that on, you can see we get that DVI turn on, that easy scene functionality that we have in our easy scene lights. So that's a gradual turn on. It's not harsh to the eyes, doesn't hit your pupils and go, oh my God, I got to adjust to this. Comes on gradually. And as you can see, we've got light in this whole area down here. One area I'd like to really focus on with this is right below the light. And you can see this light's right here. This would be mounted on an apparatus on the side or the front, wherever it is. And that light is coming right down here, and it's extending out. And what's important about this is there is a ton of activity that is happening in this area. You've got firefighters, EMS, police officers trying to get through here, stepping over hoses, grabbing tools, pulling tools out of there. A lot of activity going on here they need to be able to see here. But what about what I was just talking about? Down the road, forward facing, seeing that way. How do we improve on that spotlight? That is what we're talking about right there. I can see the target. I can see to the left. I can see all the way down here, all the way down there. If you guys in the audience, if you look over to this side of the building, I can't see anything. But when I turn this on, now I can see over here. That's critical. I can see left and right. So as I'm approaching the scene, I know I'm looking for stuff, right? So if I am looking for a mailbox, a house number, something, a car on the side, something in the woods, that spotlight is going to be pointed forward, and it's not going to help me. Now I have full visibility left and right. But I want both. So we provide that functionality, and now we get both. But what you see happen here is we limit the output forward. We limit the output downward because we're spreading that. And what we're calling is variable power distribution. So you have 100% power capability available to you, and you can use it as you see fit because every situation is different. Every situation requires a different tool, different amount of illumination. You might say, like, well, why not just turn on light everywhere all the time? Well, I don't want light forward, and I want more intensity down here. So let's shut that off, and let's get back to just down here. See, now it's bright. I'm not sending light that way. Maybe I don't need to send light that way because there's oncoming traffic. There's other activities going on there, and I need more visibility right here. So we build out that availability to adjust the light. So it's putting the light where it's needed, when it's needed. So let me take another step forward and start to show some more configurability. And we're calling this segment control. So segment control gives me the ability to turn on half of the light bar. So I've got let's use driver side and passenger side to understand this. So right now, I've got a passenger side light on. If I turn that off, turn this on, now I've got driver side. So with all this, I now have the ability to control the light forward, downward, left, right, again, leveraging, putting the light where it's needed and when it's needed. You may ask, why have all that? Again, I'm going to reference, if I come into the scene and I pull up right here and I'm on this road and I stop, I shouldn't be sending light everywhere because I've got vehicles approaching. Now, if you have seen what we've been up to over the past couple of years, and we're trying to calm the scene, right? You look at our DVI flash patterns. We get to the scene, let's calm those flash patterns down. Let's lower that down. Let's not create more confusion for both the first responders as well as the public. Because as they're approaching, if they are blinded by lights, if they are blind and disoriented, that creates an unsafe environment. So we want to build the flexibility to help support a calmer scene that keeps everyone safe. So beyond those features, we also have marker light features. Sorry. There we go. So we have amber marker lights. Each field series light bar will have the ability to set those marker lights to the configuration needed based on the installation. We believe in this believe in the light output and the impact it will have in the market, and we believe that this product will find its way not only on the front of an apparatus, it will find its way on the rear of an apparatus. So we've included red for marker lights as well, if mounting this on the back of the light bar, or back of the apparatus. You mind turning the lights back on? So, a ton of functionality, a ton of cool features, a lot of impact. How do we make that happen? How do we control this? How do we operate it? And that's where I want to introduce everyone to the Field Series power supply. So the Field Series power supply does exactly what it sounds like. It supplies power for this product. But why not just have a cable run up and turn the lights on? Well, first, we would have to pack all that functionality into each one of these light heads. We can control that here. We can manage the heat here. We can also keep this close to a power source, and we connect this up. What this power supply can do from an input voltage is take in a range of 10 to 30 volts. Meaning, if you have a 24-volt application, you're good to go. You have a 12-volt application, you're good to go. So once we supply power, we take that voltage and we're going to ramp the voltage up to a much higher voltage that drives on these LEDs. What that does for us, it creates a bunch of efficiency and flexibility, leading to the ability to do all that, moving the light, putting the light where it matters, when it matters, and all that stuff. But one of the coolest aspects of this technology and this approach to managing it is the fact that we now, with this, can connect the power supply to the light bar with a cable that is like this. It's very thin. And if you're familiar with the current Pioneer Summit and other similar products that use a bunch of current, they have very thick cables that are probably 5-6 times thicker than this. I know in our case, a very large, long Pioneer Summit, it requires 2 of those big cables, 1 on each end. And from an installation aspect, for an OEM who's building a fire truck or an ambulance, to people even retrofitting a vehicle, managing that cable, routing that cable through a cab, through these tight spaces, that is cumbersome. That is very hard, difficult, and honestly, it's just frustrating. We now give you this, which is super flexible, easy to hide, easy to tuck away and manage. Now, the next aspect of this, which is very cool, is with the higher voltage, we gain the ability to extend this cable even longer. So on release, this will be an option that you can have multiple lengths. So we will offer this on release with a 10-foot, a 25-foot, a 50-foot, 75-foot, even 100. And if you need longer, let us know. Because can you imagine getting these products up on a ladder, an aerial, and being able to route this cable all the way from the power source up to there with ease and have that distance? That's a huge benefit. Beyond that, we have the control that takes place in here. So this is LC style control, and the way this works is you basically apply voltage to a wire, something happens. So you saw me up here earlier, clicking buttons, doing my thing, turning stuff on. What's really happening there is we're applying voltage to a wire. So when I reference far field left, apply voltage, far field left. I say far field right, apply voltage, far field right, so on and so forth. The reason we took this approach was this can be easily adapted to a multitude of systems. If you're someone that just wants rocker switches and you want to flip a switch and it turns on, you bring voltage to that switch, tie this to it, you're good to go. If you have a multiplex system and you want to integrate this with a multiplex system, let's say like core, you could take an output from our core, tie it to this, and within our command software, easily start to build the functionality. Turn on this. And what's even cooler is you can start to automate things. So you can say, In these scenarios, I want forward facing. When this happens, have that light transition down to here and start to adjust that power distribution, adjust where the light is, automate those things. Again, making the first responders' job that much easier and safer. So, now that we've talked about all the cool features, all that fun stuff, let's talk about how we're going to mount this thing, because we've got to mount it up on the apparatus. So on release, we are going to offer a standard universal brow mount. So that'll give us the ability to get onto the edge of something, mount this product. We will also have a bail mount. So if you have an uneven, non-flat surface and you need to adjust the level or the angle of the light, you'll be able to accomplish that, as well as a light bar mount. So that'll give you the ability to integrate within the extrusion of our light bar and tuck this product up close to the light bar, not blocking any warning light, and adding all that functionality we just talked about. We are also going to be exploring any other options. We are open. We're going to be talking to our OEM partners and developing any other needs as they arise. As the customers find, hey, I want a field series here or here, we'll develop that hand in hand with our partners. Okay, so the other aspect is color. So as you can see here, I have the black. So this powder-coated black, so that'll be available. We will also provide the option for white powder coat. That's pretty standard for us. And here's a fun one, red. We're going to offer red, but I want to say this is wheel in red. We'll call it wheel in red. So any of you guys firefighters out there, you guys know, like, red's not red. Some of these OEMs got, I think, about 300 versions of red. So how do we handle that? What do we do there? I want a color match. What if I have a yellow fire truck? We're going to introduce primed. So the field series will be available in a primed option. So what happens here is this will allow the OEM to paint match. As they're painting the fire truck, the apparatus, whatever it is, they will be able to paint this at the same time, making it match your apparatus when you order it. All right, next, serviceability. Before I get to that, I want to talk about the warranty. This product will come with a lifetime warranty on release. We stand behind that warranty because of our vertical integration, our design practices, and everything that we control at Wheelin'. And we feel confident that we can support a lifetime warranty, but let's be real. Things happen. Stuff happens. Something hits one of these, it breaks it. And that is a key point that we learned with our own product. So I'm going to give you an example. A 72-inch Pioneer Summit, sitting on an apparatus. Something goes wrong. One LED goes out. We notice it. Oh, man, I want to send it in for warranty. Guess what happens? Let's get the ladder. Let's get up there. Let's unbolt this thing. Let's deal with the wires, all that fun stuff. Get this out. Man, thank God someone's going to overnight me a replacement. I got to ship this back, though. Let me put it in a box. We'll go to UPS. I got all this stuff. No thanks. That is way too much. So one of the goals we gave engineering was this must be field serviceable. It must get mounted, stay mounted, and be able to be fixed. So let's run through the scenario that this light head goes bad. An LED goes out, something goes wrong, something hits it, who knows. What you do now, you go up, put a small screwdriver in the bottom, the top, apply a small amount of pressure, the light head comes out, you disconnect the light head, you throw that thing in the trash, you grab your new light head, connect, snap back into place, you're back up and running. It's that simple. All right. So now that we've gone through all that, I just want to take a moment because I've got this 13 module. This is the longest length that we have available. And so I just kind of want to show it off, to be honest. So here's our near field. For reference, I want to give you guys, I'll go back to the 7 light. So you get an idea of the difference going on. and that's your 13 light. Let's look back down the road here. And then I'm gonna turn them both on for you. So let's take a moment to look around the room. Now, mind you, we are in a room, so there's a lot of ambient light, a lot of things going on, but I think you guys can see the amount of visibility going on here. So imagine this type of visibility on all four sides of an apparatus. You no longer have a first responder wondering what they aren't seeing because they're currently seeing everything. They have visibility in 360 degrees around that apparatus. That equals a much safer environment. They're going to get to the scene quicker, and they're going to operate in a much safer way. Light the lights. And that's all I got, guys. I really appreciate you taking the time to come up here. If you got any questions, please let me know. But again, thank you.